There we go. Title of this one is Worf is back, and so are we. Hi guys.
Yeah. You saw us today. We didn't see you today. Oh. And if you're in the past, you can see Stuart talking about a galaxy far, far away. So you have to be far away and in the past. But if you're there, go watch Stuart's Mandalorian reaction. Are you excited for episode 2? Wait, you've already seen episode 2. Wait, have you not seen episode 2 yet?
Yes.
Yes. What do you think? Not as full spoiler way, just...
That's great.
Ooh, okay.
More dense than episode 1, so...
Excellent. I've not seen either, so I'm entirely going by your opinion set.
It's quite a bit longer than the first one too, so...
And everyone knows how we prefer 50 minutes or...
Close to.
50 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check that out, guys. In the meantime, though, we got some super chats in right away, which is good. Ozzy with $5 says, I ordered blood wine with pineapple and pizza today with prune juice to a warrior's drink. It sounds like a very disgusting meal. Everything about it.
Okay, what would you rather do? Blood wine or gach?
Blood wine.
And why?
I prefer my gach to be like dead and not wriggling. So, I mean, if it was like dead gach, microwaved and warm, then I might eat it with some soy sauce.
Microwaved.
But yeah, as long as it's wriggling, I'm not.
Now, is this a space microwave or just an average, like a modern microwave?
Either one.
Okay.
Either one.
Okay. I think a space microwave is called a replicator.
Yes. That's the...
Yeah.
How about you? What would your choice be in those two?
I mean, I'd try both. I mean, I feel like both are acquired taste by definition. I feel like you'd be like, at the blood wine, and then after you've had 7 or 8, you'd be like, that's pretty paint strippery. And then by your 50 year, you're like, that's real good. I taste the wine through the blood.
Yes.
Do you think there's different brands though, where they do a different percentage of blood and wine? So you can get like a red and a rosé and a white, just like this 5% blood and 80% blood. The darkest of cacao is the darkest of the blood.
I'm also not 100% convinced it's actually blood. I think it's just called blood wine, but
I don't know. Maybe they found, this is a hell of a tangent space, but maybe they found like a species on a planet that's blood is actually sweet or is actually tasty to them, and it actually is that species. Kind of like we farm milk. So they could film the blood for blood wine.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll see an ad for that blood wine right now. There you go.
I don't think we would.
Worth
a try. Okay.
Grant McGregor, $10.
Oh, beautiful.
Doing this chat early as I'll be working and missing out on the live stream because it feels like Worf isn't going to make it. Hope I'm wrong. Wonder what chat thinks.
Oh goodness.
I'm pretty sure Worf's going to make it. Don't know what you mean by the interviews, which one you're speaking of. I haven't seen anything to suggest that.
Would you any vibe of that from the show?
No.
I feel like they've all been quite blatant that they would all come back. I think that's actually made quite clear. Yeah. More so than you normally expect in a show where they're all in their 70s.
Yeah, they each said, like, we'd do another movie or another season. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. No. Olivia.
Oh, no.
Member for 19 months at the rank of captain. Says, Samuel is back in a big way. Long live Samuel. Sam is the best. Go Samuel. He is the best Cockings.
I feel like, is the keyboard just stuck to the word Sam or Samuel? Is there just a button and it's always... It's a pattern.
All I'm going to say is I'm glad that you two are separated by like an ocean because it seems a little obsessed and you might be, stalked to death.
And also a superior officer as well, which is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can say that now. She's no longer a Federation president, so.
But still a captain, and I'm 8 years not a captain still, so
Just. Yeah. Hey, Riker wasn't a captain for at least 8.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get all like snarky about it.
Yeah, we're the flagship of Trek YouTube channels, so as you can, the second in command of a flagship YouTube channel is still better than the captain of a lower end one.
You've thought about breaking off and starting your own YouTube channel a few times, but you decided against it. So
they kept offering me weird ones. I was like, that one's gonna get blown up. Have you seen the name of it? I mean, ad destroyed, adpocalypsed. Well, speaking of apocalypse, do you see that Stowe is doing the Alito, the drone ship from Lodex?
No.
That was their big reveal last night, but they had to cancel, so they showed it anyway.
Texas class.
Let me send it to you. So I did not expect them to make that.
That's interesting.
I mean, it looks pretty good. They definitely made it better than the show. I can show that in a bit. But about other things first. So I'm gonna start sharing.
Yes, and yes, Jill, I agree. They already have killed too many characters. Enough already. Agreed, 100%. All right, guys. 59 of you here, 27 likes. Hit that like button. Check 50 likes. I think that would be amazing to do right off the hop. So please consider hitting the like button. We're going to be talking about Worf today and doing some predictions for what's coming up next episode, as well as maybe later in the season. So we want you guys to have the opportunity to put your input in. Super chats are a great way to do that, just because it not only benefits the channel, but it also, we do read all of them on the air, so you do get whatever you're saying out there. So if you want to take part in the conversation, please consider doing that. But hitting like is the best way to do that, honestly, to help us out. It's just hit that like button and get us up to 50 right away. That'd be amazing. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. Also consider the link down below. There are links to the Teespring and the TeePublic stores. You can get some cool Trekyards merch. With our new rebranding and kind of Trekyards 2.0 that's going on right now, I was working on some other shirts today. They are in the pending approval process right now. So there should be new shirts coming to TeePublic very soon, and then soon after Teespring. And yeah, eventually we will have our own Trekyards store. We're thinking with some more various items. So anyway, consider clicking those links as well to support us. Once the new stuff is approved, I will send, well, first of all, I'll share it on the Trekyards Facebook and other places as well, just to get it out there, because it's really cool stuff. And yeah, I will let you guys know during these lives when it's available, so you guys can go check it out. But at least take a look at what's there now. A lot of our old designs are fantastic as well, and it's a good time to scoop those up. I don't know how much longer they're going to be there necessarily, so you might want to see about throwing some in your cart and perhaps picking them up at some point. Yes, Bill, there is an episode 4 trailer available. Yes, there is. Stewart's wife has to promote him. Well, then I might be in trouble. But anyway, yeah, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on Worf's grand re-entry into...
I'm back.
The universe. Hello. All right, Olivia throws in $5 just in time for Samuel to come back. There might be an ocean between us, Samuel, but Samuel, we are on the same planet. Samuel, can you wait, Samuel? I can make that trip, Samuel. Long live Sam. Wow. That's getting creepy, Olivia. So I'd be locking your doors at night there, Sam.
Unlike Canada, where they don't lock any doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's closer to me, so I should be locking my door, because she can just literally drive across the border.
A giant old ATV, is that what they're called?
No, that's an all-terrain vehicle.
Yes.
She's
it's more than a
driving
truck.
Bus.
Bus.
Right,
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stuart, speaking of buses, the biggest man of Star Trek is Worf. Big man Worf. Episode 4, 3, he came in. No, episode 2 he came in swinging. Episode 3 he came in drinking tea, and stayed for giving strong words. Now I'll jump in straight with something I've seen debated quite a lot online. I really want to know your thoughts here, because we've obviously talked about it a lot on Friday and then not talked about anything since. So, but actually, a bit of time. People are saying, some people are saying that they think that Worf knew the guy was a changeling the whole time, and he was waiting for him to reveal himself before telling Raffi. What do you think, based on context of the scenes? Where would you fall on that debate?
I got that inclination once or twice in my watching through it, but I think he might have suspected something based on what Odo had told him, but I don't think he knew 100%. So I think there's a fine line of both in that regard. He was suspicious and just waiting for the confirmation, but yeah, I don't think he knew 100%. So that's my thought.
Yeah, obviously, he clearly knew a possible situation. I don't know why he would necessarily connect this guy to the changelings. But I don't think he thought the guy was a changeling at all, but he might have thought that plot was connected. So I feel like if he thought he was a changeling, he would not have just jumped him and expected to take him to the ground. You know, you'd approach changeling differently than just grab him. You know? So I don't see why he would think he was that. Especially, you know, Raphael has obviously high clearances on a secret mission. Calling him a human and not telling her feels like a daft. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't think Worf is very smart for this stuff. You know? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this before too. The changeling went down a little too easily, in my opinion. It would have been funny if Raffi tried to take him down, and he did a changeling thing, but that would have ruined the reveal later. And then have Worf standing by with like some kind of like stun gun or something just to kind of like incapacitate him for a minute. That would have been cool, but it would have ruined the surprise later. So, it's fine. Jock Cop throws in £5. The episode 4 trailer that just released had a spoiler with Vatic. Could be interesting.
Well, it's not. If I think I know what you mean to, it's not a spoiler. It's a thing that she owns that might mean something else.
I just watched the thing on.
Well, yeah.
The trailer for the next episode, but I don't remember the Vatic thing.
Shall I say what it is? It's very minor. I mean, it's not.
Sure. If you don't want to hear this spoiler, stop listening for like 10 seconds.
She's using a Riemann knife.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. That won't be important at all.
I know.
That's just a knife you can go buy in the hunting store down the street.
Yeah, it's famous for Nemesis and for Stargate as the two big sci-fi projects. It's also in like on the Blade films. It's really like the go-to art design knife. You can buy them right now. They're great, and she might be, partially got Riemann stuff on her ship, but I don't know how that'd be a spoiler specifically.
Yeah, those Niemans down here.
North Niemans.
Yes. Olivia Julius throws in $5. I can't go to Canada. Canada banned trans fat, and I'm both trans and fat. Besides, lugs are boring me. Lugs are boring you? I love that she's used that joke a few times. I think it's hilarious each time, but besides, lugs are boring me. What do you mean lugs? Confused. Anyhow, what do we got going on here?
Well, what do you got? Well, yeah, I did a poll, which I thought would be an interesting way of looking at it.
Oh, yeah, poll. Let me read the poll. Worf, was he better in Picard Season 3 or Nemesis? Nemesis or Picard Season 3? Are your choices?
Well, it's because I thought it's not fair to say, in this early stage of the live, is he as good as TNG or DS9? Because he's been not in it, but he's not really in Nemesis much, so that kind of felt like an equal standing. He's in it some, but I actually think he's more in 3 than more in Nemesis, meaningful at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to Nemesis to see what
he does things. He's told to do things. He presses buttons, but he doesn't really have any dialogue lines. He speaks like this all of a sudden. It's like, right.
That was a director thing, wasn't it?
Yep. Because aliens can't have human voices.
Who directed that movie?
Some fucker. I mean, some guy.
I was going to say, yeah, let's just...
Well, because that was his first... He was an editor. And then that was his first feature film.
And he knows how long Star Trek's been around, right? And how long Worf is a character, yeah?
Directors have final say.
I don't understand that whole concept of
And the joke is...
Look at this established franchise. Let's do what I want to do to it. It's like, no.
And the joke is, he's in it so little, you don't even register that he's got a CG, like, digitally altered voice. That's how little he's in it.
I'm gonna have to watch that again. I didn't know it was altered in any way.
Yeah, Stuart Baird was the director. He's now 73.
Oh, I hate him. And he's got the same name as me.
Same spelling as well.
I know, I feel dirty. Ugh.
I mean, dirty can be good sometimes. So, now, if he's edited these things as actually the editor, he edited 2018 Tomb Raider, 47 Ronin, Skyfall, Green Lantern, Salt, Edge of Darkness, Casino Royale, Legend of Zorro, Maverick, Demolition Man, Tales from the Crypt, one of them, Last Boy Scout, Die Hard 2, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon. I mean, these are some really, really known things he edited. Director 3, Executive Decision, U.S. Marshals, and Sergeant Nemesis. The hell would be even Nemesis? What?
He has no right to be anywhere near sci-fi.
No, none of it was really sci-fi. Action, yes. But
apparently, he admitted he'd never seen an episode at the time he directed the. Why would you give this person directing of this movie?
Oh, I mean, there was a reason. As in, I'm sure there was he knew him and he got it. I mean, would it be so nice if what Frakes had done instead? Not to say he did the best job in Insurrection, but he did a fine job. Like, direction.
He knows the characters.
and the sad thing is, we always hear the script was much, much better. The actual final script. It's just they had to cut, change, swap, budget cut. Like, that was all done to it. The original was much better. Yeah.
Well, that was a weird tangent, but it was Worf related, so it's fine.
Yeah, Nemesis all because he's in the 3, and the poll is reflecting the fact that no one remembers him in Nemesis. Yeah. So we'll go back in.
Think, but I can't fucking think.
Well, he was on the buggy, doing this.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting his nuts destroyed. He has made that parallel before. It was not a comfy.
Yeah.
Because they really drove that. Like, that was real. So he really didn't have a fun time. And the squelching heat and his full makeup to not say anything almost. He was at the wedding. He said he had too much ale. He was told by Picard to lose weight when being naked at the wedding. Like, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Then he fired torpedoes. He fired phasers. He fired torpedoes. He fought a Riemann, I guess. Okay.
Did he get told no at least once?
No, I think he did some things.
I don't think he's going to be told no at all in this season. I don't know. He seems to kind of...
And Stephen Pierce says, Maya and Burnett had not seen any episode of TOS when they made the TOS movies.
Well, that's true. Maya and Bennett. That is very true.
But also it's wrong because they went out and saw every episode before they actually said yes to the gig.
They went out and watched everything before they did it, yes. But when they got selected, they hadn't seen anything. So they weren't like linked to Star Trek in any like way that could like alter their, make them go all fanboy-y.
But then they did all of the research.
That's very true.
So
yes,
I don't think for a second the other Stuart did watch TNG.
No.
Actively.
Probably watched the first season, which Worf was never in, and said, fuck it. I don't understand anything about this guy. Why is he still around? It's like JJ watching the first like 3 episodes of TOS and thinking that Spock and Uhura had a thing. So cute, dumb bastard. Anyway.
Jill, it's predictions for the other part of the next episode and talk about Worf, hence the thumbnail, because we know that Jack is in a bar!
Which is Guinan's, which probably links into the whole end credit scene where there's like Guinan's bar in the holodeck. Olivia Julius, $5. God save our gracious Sam. Long live our noble Sam. God save the Sam. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Sam.
Wonderful. That's
I agree.
Stirring stuff.
We can't be without Sam.
Yes, Jill. That's the power of Super Chats. You could also make him sing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes. Anyway, Worf. So, now you've had time to mull, dwell, think. How's he in episode 3?
So I'm just talking about specifically Worf?
Yes, just Worf.
Yeah, I think he was beautifully done. His introduction was fantastic. I still make the joke of he should have had something in there about caretaker of Jeremy Astor.
I know.
The poor bastard kid. I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened to him. He went to Detroit and got killed by RoboCop. But anyway, no, it was great. It was great to hear that, and then to blend it into the whole. I made tea. You take sugar. Very kind of in line with the good tea, nice house Worf that we know. Funny while not trying to be funny necessarily. Yeah, I think they did a fantastic job with him, and he looks fantastic. I agree with you. All the production stuff has this all like joined, and it looks like shit. But with the way it actually is, and there's actually gray in it, it's not just white, and it's not connected. It kind of does a little. It looks much better, and I wish they just would have showed that from the get-go.
It's amazing the simplicity of a little bit of. Oh, it didn't quite work because obviously he's talking, so as well you're getting the disconnect. It's one of those things. I know that Terry said they added the line in the trailer about the pacifism, thinking people would laugh about it, with no thought that people would react to it. So same thing I think with Worf's look. When he talks, your brain says, "Oh, it's the same as original Worf," but in stills it just all connects, and it's like that doesn't quite work. It's yeah.
I wish they would have at least shaved this part though. Like so, he always had the nothing under the nose bit. I think that was very uniquely him.
I guess it's more elegant this way, and it's his real hair because it wasn't in TNG. That was part of the.
Yeah. It's just changed his style over the years, and that's what happens.
Oh! What a segue to the style picture, to wit I have got, and I do think people forget that yes, he's got a giant shaved lip. And it's very, very noticeable. I totally forgotten the season 1 version. My God, that's distinct.
The joke was always made that if Hitler and Worf kissed, their mustaches would never touch.
Oh, I've never heard that, and I love it. I hate it. It's great. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of awful and great at the same time. Joe Brown puts in $5.
Thank you.
I'm hoping for some top-tier Riker Worf banter. Oh, I think we're going to get that. With the whole I'm a pacifist. Oh, we're all gonna die line from the trailer. So yeah.
Well, yeah, they're definitely giving actors sort of zones to work together. We've had some great Riker and Picard, and now we feel fine for episode 4 to move Riker off into something else. Move Geordi in or more Beverly. You know, it makes sense. Let everyone rotate in and out because those two are certainly a good duo for sure.
Yeah. Marco Vonash, yes, I think all Klingons had that middle part shaved. It's almost like they couldn't grow hair there. It was like one of their cultural things or something.
I can't imagine them all, but I can't imagine one that didn't have it.
I think in TNG, they pretty much all didn't have that. But going to Enterprise and stuff, perhaps some of them did. I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously part of it is the fact that, the two little lip things, that's a specific look. As soon as you moustache it, it's a moustache.
Yeah.
That is a look. That's really interesting. I hadn't considered that as a... Because that came from TOS, where it was very the wispy.
Yes. And then they kind of adapted it to TNG to be the same but different.
Yeah, I mean, the three guys we think of from Star Trek 3, they have variations of non-moustaches. Even Mark Leonard playing Klingon number 1. Yeah, he had the split. Krug had a very tiny lip here, but some. Wow, I never noticed that really. Okay, good job.
But yeah, Worf has evolved quite a bit over the years, especially his hair. Went from short to bob cut to like long to like braided, and then when it was unbraided, it was curly. And I got to admit, his hair got better and better over the years. I always kind of looking back at the older ones, like season 1, 2, 3, kind of like on his hair. When it gets longer and he can braid it, it's like in Deep Space Nine. I think it looks much better look for him. But more warrior-esque, I guess. Tim Russ was also in Voyager. Was also in one of the older Trek films before playing Tuvok. Yes, he was in Generations. He was on the Enterprise B. He was also in TNG, in the episode with the Baryon sweep. He was one of the terrorists on board the Enterprise. Which is funny because I just watched his his appearance on Shuttlepod 1 podcast. He says, I tried for Trek roles and never got it, never got in TNG or anything. And I'm like, did you forget that you were in an episode of TNG as a human or as a terrorist of some sort? Anyway, yeah, he's popped up in Trek. He wanted to be in Trek so bad he like put off getting other jobs.
Oh wow!
Waiting for his Voyager call for like a few months.
Oh wow!
Voyager was pushed back, so he told his agent, "I don't want to accept anything that's going to get in the way of me if they call."
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, and that Shuttlepod podcast is pretty good. I've been starting to watch them.
Well, I think it's because even though other Trekkers don't tend to watch Trek shows, they're like, oh yeah, you did 4 years of what I did. I respect you in a certain equal way. And Malcolm Reed is not afraid to ask questions.
He just doesn't shut up. He talks over everybody while they're trying. That kind of annoys me.
But he does change. He does like move directions though. He gets more things out of them. Because often actors obviously have a speech. Conventions for 20 years, they have a thing they go on. So often, he's very English in that. You kind of forget because I don't think he was English, but I guess he's an English actor.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
It's funny because Tim Russ had directed them in an episode of Enterprise, and they were talking about that as well. So he knew all about what they were about. So
yeah. Although you say he was in TNG, I mean that might have been literally a one afternoon of just get the tertiaries in because he's one of the extra henchmen, isn't he? And Generations is going to be He
gets like a saddle thrown at him by Picard in the hallway. That's something you don't forget.
Mm.
How often you get attacked by a saddle? First of all, and then by Captain Picard.
You were in Trek? Oh, what alien were you? What aliens did you fight? Spaceship hit by a saddle.
I was saddlebagged and then teabagged by Mr. Picard.
But not Dr. Spock. Yeah, that's true. And I would assume then he would have also walked the sets because he's on the lot. And you would think, how could he just forget seeing them? Because he never saw them again, did he? Because
him and LeVar Burton were in the final running for Geordi. So he really wanted to be on Trek for like a long time. He kept going for every Trek thing, and he finally got Voyager. Tuvok was originally supposed to be like a 69-year-old actor they were looking for, like an older gentleman.
That makes sense.
And Gene Roddenberry absolutely refused to have Tim Russ. He didn't like him. And once Gene Roddenberry was out of the picture, then it's like, come on in, get you signed. 20 minutes, you're done. You're on. So it was kind of Gene Roddenberry stopping it from happening, kind of thing.
And in fairness, he would have been okay. Geordi, he's a dynamic dynamo. He's, if not the best Vulcan, he's top.
He's a fantastic Vulcan. I love Tuvok as a character. Yeah,
and I'm sad he hasn't come back more. Apart from Renegades and such, because he zoned in instantly.
Yep.
Well, like Worf.
Oh, segue to what we're supposed to be talking about.
And I wonder if that's also something to do with the fact they played aliens. They had to make a character voice, and when they're in the makeup, it feels like home again. Versus a human actor where it can just be walking onto the set in a jacket. Yeah. I wonder if that has something to do with this. They zoned in.
I would imagine so. Yeah, sitting in that makeup chair watching the transformation for hours. Yeah. It would zone you back into the 7 years you did that every day.
Yeah. The mindset.
Whereas just walking on, just being an actor for
all
the years since. It's a totally different mindset. You're absolutely right about that. I never considered that.
Because especially for Michael Dorn, it's like 3 hours. I'm sure Tim's like 2 hours max. So I'm sure then a little haircut. I think if Brent Spiner in season 1 of Picard was 10 years younger or 5 years younger or a bit better CG, as more for the voice. If the voice was Brent Spiner from 5 years ago, not the look, that's fine. It would have nailed it better. He was trying really hard. He captured it mostly, but the voice is what let him down, I think, overall. So that, but these both sound like they're people. That Michael sounds the same, give or take. Yeah,
it's a shame how some voices age, though. I mean, the vocal cords are they're the same as anything else. They age and they change, they get thicker. It's a shame.
And it's entirely random. And in theory, the adults are talking more. You could argue, if you're an out of work actor, you just talk the normal amount. But if you're doing acting all day, every day for 2 years, I mean, you're using it more. You're actually really having to be part of the process, etc.
Jill's asking a lot of our predictions. How many captains will the Titan have in episode 4? 3. gonna have Riker, then Shaw's gonna get better, then eventually Picard's gonna take over for some reason. That's my call. 3.
I feel like it'd be the next. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Shaw's has been in every episode, but him to get better ASAP seems odd. But once they leave the Titan, if they leave the Titan, he won't be relevant anymore.
Well, he might be. If they go to another ship and they need help, he'll be right there on the Titan doing his thing.
That is true. I mean, as long as the ship is beaten up but still warp capable, he could jump in Excelsior-esque then. That's very true. Yeah. And that would be a nice juxtaposition with, hey guys, I love you, but I can't help you to. I'm coming, guys! At the end of the season. That would feel like a hell of a payoff. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that whole, I love you guys, really, I do, but no. That's great. What are your predictions on how they will catch the shapeshifters? Ooh. Well, it won't be the blood, I don't think. It'll probably be some kind of scan or pulse that they send through the ship, perhaps. I know they're looking for the changeling in the next episode, trying to determine who it is on the crew. But yeah, that's a good one. I don't know how they're going to deal with that. You'd think they would come with some newer techniques over the years since the Dominion War, just in case. I don't know.
I mean, I there's so much fun with Changeling specifically. I want this to be a multi-season arc. That's the sad thing, right? If this was season 1, you were thinking, oh, there's a great 3-year plan for Changelings, and maybe they kill 7 out of the 8, but the 8th lives and does even more dramatic things. Like that is so vibrant. I don't want them to defeat this cool sect of the ex-Dominion in 4 more episodes. You know what I mean? It's kind of like season 1 Discovery, the giant Klingon war that gets introduced, ignored, finished, and it's wholly unsatisfying. Either don't deal with them or deal with them enough to stop this situation, but still be out there. Yeah. Personally,
Well, Tom Eilerman makes you laugh. Set out buckets for regeneration. Yeah, just set out random regeneration buckets, just right on the side, regeneration bucket. Put it in the hallway.
With some
and
cheese.
As soon as something goes in it,
some cheese in it.
Force field over the top of it. Yes, cheese. Exactly. That's funny.
I can visualize it. I hate the fact I can visualize it.
Yeah.
Because it kind of works.
It's hilarious.
Oh,
Sergeant Montgomery, Mako, $2. Shapeshifter different because of blood screening.
We had this debate today in our video, and it's
Yeah. See, that's the thing. The shapeshifting effect is different, and
yeah, we kept our shot of it.
A lot of people are just chalking it up to modern visual effects as opposed to what it was back in the day. It's too different, in my opinion. I think if they were going to modernize the old effect and have it look more in line with today's CG, whatever, they would have done a totally different approach to it. I think it's different for a reason. So maybe that is the case.
Well, that sounds like a amazing poll, because I just put on the shot we did for the episode. Just to end this poll at 12 minutes, 97 votes. Worf is better in Nemesis or Picard. Picard wins out beyond, hands down, 86% to 14. Let's do the Changeling question.
Mm-hmm. By the way, guys, 120 of you here. That's amazing. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click notification bell icon as well. And hit that like button. I want to get up to 100 likes. We're at 70 right now. I think that's very easy to do. So 30 of you just need to hit that like button. We'd really appreciate the help. And speaking of help, we want your thoughts and opinions on this as well. We want to hear what you guys have to say, what you want us to talk about. So by all means, super chat in, and we will read your super chat and address it and talk about it and discuss it. We love hanging out with you guys. We don't like to be talking in a vacuum just between the two of us. We like new ideas, and it always sparks really interesting and genuine good conversation, theories, and debates on the channel. And we really appreciate all the input you guys have. So Chuck A, our TNG fanatic, throws in $2 Does TNG actors call Worf Turtlehead? They do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, read the poll. See what you guys think.
Oh, we got a new poll. We got a new poll. Which effect do you prefer for the Changeling? 1995 DS9 glowy gel effect, or 2023 card fleshy melty effect?
Because I think it's worth summarizing. They are entirely different approaches to it.
Yes.
They're not.
And I don't think it stands up to it's just modern visual effects trying to do what they wanted to do back in '95. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not glowing. It's not gel-like. It's not alien-looking. It's entirely different art direction. It's honestly, it feels as if it's looking at one is the Klingons from Discovery, one is the Klingons from TNG. It's the same thing, but it looks entirely different, but with a little hint of it's a puddle, but it's not trying to be what it was. So, and I don't think we have to talk more in the sense of like it's obvious just from the pictures, right? I shouldn't have to explain why it looks different. It's entirely different. The question is the why, right? And also I think if you picture this beyond this shot, I'm assuming we're going to see in the next episode a shot of the creepy guy morphing in some form. Is it as interesting if he becomes a flesh puddle of him, like a flesh morph of his face into a new flesh morph versus the glowy organic liquid? Like that surely is going to look so much less interesting because you got to take this into that as well.
Yeah, I think it would look less interesting. See, the thing I like to point out, somebody posted on Twitter that Marcia from Star Trek 6, she's a changeling and she smokes a cigar. She's Vatic, isn't she? Asking Terry Metalis, and I thought that was funny. And I'm like, no, first of all, she's a Kamaloid. And
yes,
she's a shapeshifter.
Yes.
She's not a changeling. All changelings are shapeshifters, but not all shapeshifters are changelings. Because Kirk even says you're a Kamaloid, I thought you were mythical, which could also, they hadn't quite found out about changelings at that point. But yes, there is a distinct difference. We've seen a lot of different shapeshifters over the years of Trek. They're not all changelings. So it would be funny if these weren't actually changelings from the Great Link. Some other faction maybe led by some Great Link changelings. But they're another form of shapeshifter, and that's why they look different.
Ooh, that might be a mic drop moment.
Because once the changelings leave the Great Link, maybe they need something to. Well, they do need the Great Link. So maybe they find another shapeshifting faction and team up with them. That's why there's that different look. I don't know. That was kind of my thought. But I commented on the post saying, yeah, not all. She was Kamaloid. That's different.
Yeah, we had the same thing on YouTube, and I did the exact same comment.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually. Now we're extrapolating, but yeah, I love the idea that say 3 changelings, formed into 3 beings at the end of the Dominion War. They went off away. They said, well, we're not powerful enough by ourselves. Let's find other shapeshifting creatures and say to them, well, because you'd all have to have some sort of their biology must be somewhat similar, right? Something that's closer. So they said, well, we are the epitome of this ability. We offer you some of our biomatter to help make yourself better. It's been 20 years. They enhance their abilities drastically, but not perfectly, because they're not the same life forms. And that's why all the effects look different. And they offer them, the power in terms of servitude or working with them. And that makes them a separate army. Kind of like when the Dominion made their own version of the Jem'Hadar in our quadrant, and they were inferior for many reasons. Not saying parallel, but then you have this idea of this 2-tier system. That's really cool. And then the payoff could be we find the original, maybe one changeling made it out and became evil. That looks like the classic one. These are all the other ones.
Maybe it's Laz, whatever the hell his name was. The one that was drifting, trying to find all the other 100 changelings.
Oh, you mean J.G. Hertzler?
Yeah, Martok. Yeah.
But I love that. It's a really, really good idea. What if you go even creepier? What if it's a genetically created changeling and therefore inferior? They bred them.
I like that. I like that a lot, yeah.
Because that would be right up. That also explains why he could be knocked to the ground.
Yeah, and couldn't do the quick reversal or whatever, yeah.
And he couldn't hold his shape. And that,
Or they can't. They can only turn into certain things. They can't turn into like
Yeah.
a table.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh,
So
I
they
love
can't
it.
hide very well.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's gotta be. Because if we were writing that, that would feel like a great reveal, an extension of the lore. Oh, I love that.
That would be interesting to me because we got to find out where these ones that left the Great Link went and how they are now surviving after having been away from the Great Link. So I think it's going to be important.
Because it also adds another new element to that. You have a single changeling, say, who's that powerful, but then all these other ones, maybe they're all dying in a way, or different radiation affects them, or they just are different, so you can't even use the same techniques. And as someone said, maybe they're also there to fool like blood scans because they've got organic memetic material.
Yeah,
like they just react in a different way. Oh, I love it.
So, what species was the one in the undiscovered country? She was a Comaloid. We already talked about that.
She's not gel. She just kind of just morphs. It's literally the morph effect. It was a specialist CG trick back in the day, early CG. They didn't become gooey.
Yeah, exactly.
Blobs. It was very different.
The Stanley says Laz was probably infected by Odo and possibly died. Yes, very likely he was infected by Odo.
Ooh.
Yeah, he didn't go back and rejoin the Great Link to get the cure after Odo got the cure, which means yes, if he was drifting on by himself. I read that on Twitter. He's probably drifting by himself alone in space and just died.
I'm not thrilled about that, but okay.
Oh, maybe he's leading this one. He's like, they infected me, bastards. I'm going to destroy them all.
That's really interesting, though.
And
Matt Munn says, why would the Changelings want to give up their secret in the middle of a busy marketplace? Because they're radicals. Their goal is all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh,
you don't have to give it up necessarily. Somebody jumps on top of you onto a table. You just do what the T2, the T1000 did in Terminator 2 and just go from face down to face up. Nobody was going to notice that in that dark marketplace. And it wouldn't be giving yourself away necessarily. To the person attacking you, probably, but not to everyone around you. All it would take is just a twist of the body, so you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? So.
Well, and how many times have we seen a film or TV where someone goes around a corner and they're not there anymore?
Yeah.
That's all you have to do, and then they changeling, etc. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm sad now. It's just for Jedi. Don't be. You don't know if that's true or not.
John Connor was always a changeling. Who knew? Oh. Yeah. But guys, go vote in the poll. I'm really interested. So yeah, we give them absolute credit. It's not just because we can do better now, because it's too different to be. They're not trying to be the same. You can tell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if it had gone from the solid form to that, then to the glowy effect, like that was a transitional phase, I would have bought that as an updated kind of idea.
Yeah, or this, and then like the edges are glowy goo because as he's deforming, it's yeah.
We need to see another one at least to see. It'd be funny if the next one we see, the one on Titan, is actually like the Odo effect, and it's like, oh, these are different. What's going on?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Which also might explain why we got such a close-up focus shot on this to show that's weird, etc.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the one in Discovery did shift in a far closer way. It was very quick, but I feel like there was something that was closer. Not perfect, but closer.
One in Discovery? What do you mean?
Well, there's a Changeling Discovery at the Casino Planet. It's the one that's the one that's all one long poker episode. It's the one that's stealing chips from everyone. They're trying to work out how are they stealing all the money from everyone. Oh, because it's a changeling. It's being everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And they chase it for like 45 seconds. It changing for literally one shot.
But it had the Odo effect.
I think it had a close one, yeah.
It did, because we commented on it at the time.
And it had a very Odo but more modern face because they were older. We were both pretty happy with it for as limited time as it had. So
yeah. 82 likes right now, guys. That's awesome, but I'm still not at that 100 that I asked for. We have 130 people, so I don't know why we're not at 100 likes yet. Hit the like button.
You're being called out, guys. But yeah, back to Worf. So, my thoughts on Worf. It's we've seen a lot of legacies come back in varying degrees. Q mostly felt like Q was saying stuff that wouldn't necessarily be in character. Guinan was good, but then other bits were a bit odd, etc. This is, I think, almost the first one I thought that's just Worf.
Yeah.
Because we had in the Nepenthe, both the Riker and the Troy both had this darkness in their hearts, but were close. But it was all around other things, and even Riker and Picard this season, he's fun, but it's obviously he's got the weight of command never had before. This Worf, he was always a warrior. He was always
an ambassador.
Well, yeah, apart from that little bit, but he's changed less, I think, than most of the people, and he clearly didn't have another son or anything. He's not giving off those sorts of vibes. He just, I think he's probably the most similar, and I really think Michael kept it there. And if he did have black hair, I think the fans would be like, yes, they need to have black hair, but it's yeah.
And it's actually subtle, but if you look at the prosthetic, there's like little wrinkles molded into it, so it's like it's aged skin.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a nice touch. Now, the other interesting thing I found, too, was that he is, in fact... Because Raffi's surprised. She's like, I know who you are. You're a legend. But you're working for Starfleet? And it's like, let's just say that their interests and my interests align.
Yeah.
Think of me as a subcontractor. I mean, she's not with Starfleet.
Yes.
So he's not in Starfleet intelligence.
Yes.
Is he working independently? Is he working for the Klingon Defense Force? That's the other thing we don't know about him right now. We just know he's not in Starfleet. Unless I read that whole scene wrong, but with the way she said, "Well, I know who you are, and you're in Starfleet," it surprised me.
It's a little bit tricky when we know that he has a uniform on in later episode with a captain's bar, because Terry said, "Oh, he's a captain, don't worry." But I mean, we saw Riker go from heavy retired to captaining a fleet in the same week, so that's fine. I mean, is it kind of cool if he's working as one of the highest operatives of the Klingon intelligence force, like not even KDF, like the KIF?
Maybe he's working specifically for Gowron.
He's dead.
Is he?
Gowron's dead, yeah.
Oh, not Gowron, sorry.
He killed Gowron.
Yeah, killer of Gowron, yes. Oh, sorry,
wrong universe, Joe. Wrong universe.
Not Martok.
I mean, I would love to see obviously J.J. Hertzler back. I mean, he's already got the grey hair, so he can roll up one day and it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to.
And yes, Jill, he was grey in All Good Things. Yeah,
all Good Things, Stuart. You mentioned All Good Things.
Comparison of those two.
Oh my god. So here he is, and they're so close to the same year. I think either All Good Things is 99 or like 01. It's really, really close. So this is extremely, extremely specific parallel. This is the first time you're seeing this as well, Stuart. And this was great because when we did this for like Q, everyone forgot he was old. Oh, here's a shot. Really useful to put these things in comparison.
And you know the funny thing is, when All Good Things came out, I didn't hear anybody, even in the intervening years, say, "It's a Klingon. He ages different. Why would he look so old?" For some reason, in All Good Things, it was just fine. But with today's whiny culture, everybody, when they saw the new Worf, is like, Klingons live longer. Why does he look old? Well, you weren't complaining about that in All Good Things, now were you? Just saying. Just pointing that out. Anyway.
That's really interesting. I mean, that's before the internet. So you'd only talk to your friends in Starlog magazine.
It could be the early days of the internet. Maybe some chat rooms or.
I think chat rooms are Voyager.
Maybe.
Well, that's right on the. I mean, maybe yeah.
Maybe there's an article in the publisher of Starlog.
Well, yeah. Actually, there was chat rooms because Babylon 5 had chat rooms from the start because the creator went in them and interacted with the fans under Alias.
Yeah.
And that was DS9, and this was after DS9. So yes, there would just have been chat rooms. But this might sound a bit harsh, Stuart. So you put me to the fire if you think it's a bit too harsh.
Okay.
Back in the day, people were more hardcore fans because it was more niche. As media has become more accessible and more broad, there are more general fans who therefore might complain about stuff that we would say, obviously he's older, And so therefore the voices of somebody who would not even be around then to comment is now making a fuss that we, the fans, the hardcore fans, would not say.
Interesting take on things, and I agree. Absolutely. I never once considered it until you just said it, but you're 100% right.
There's a lot more breadth of fandom, which means these people can complain in unique ways that we wouldn't do in the middle.
There's more access to it now. It is more accepted to be a nerd or a geek these days than it was back then. To kind of hide that. Yes, more niche back then. Plus now, all the new shows brought in a lot of new people who might not understand the gestalt behind it all. You're absolutely right, and I never once considered that. Wow, that's a very good point.
This is like, thank you. It's like what we had when we got a certain level of viewership on Trekyards from the initial year into the second year. Suddenly we got more weird comments that were more polarizing and negative positive because more people were seeing us.
Yep.
So it's just a pure nature of that. If you've only seen, say, DS9 and the JJ movies, you can have an entirely different thought perspective than one of us, who each have different perspectives ourselves. So and I'll bring in a more controversial version, because I think it's a good parallel in a certain way. There was news stories in Discovery Season 1 about people complaining that there was a black female leader. And you and me are like, no one we know has said that. But they quoted some tweets. But anybody can write anything. Just because 3 people who might only have watched one Trek say it, and to lump the entire fandom from that was a horrible mistake in my opinion. So if one random Joe can say, Worf shouldn't go grey, and they've, whoever they are, why you listen to them? Because we would say nothing about him. Like, our only thing was the fact that, you said this, and I said this. That's all we're saying. And we can have precedence to that. So,
Well, the other thing we did point out was the unnaturally white hair it appeared to be on the promotional stuff. Like, it looks pure white. Here it looks realistic. Like, the promotional stuff, I think they
this is clearly... I mean, there's clearly grey there. And, here, Yeah,
you can see, especially the side as well.
Yeah. I just think when we actually complain about something, there's for a really specific reason. Right? And it's very... Just, this sort of thing I wouldn't even think to... Yeah. Because he looks great. He looks so good. Yeah. You know, it's a really, really... better than all good things. Like, that obviously was messmaking unkempt. Like, the fact they still pulled back gives him all the Worfinisms, but down a clean white. Yeah,
he actually doesn't look like he's aged that much at all. Given this part of his face, that's actually his face. Still looks damn good. It doesn't have liver spots and stuff all over it like Patrick Stewart or Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, well, it does help if you've literally lost half your head.
That's true, and he is bald now. He does shave his head. He was the psychiatrist or the therapist in Castle, and he's been in other stuff I've watched.
I think he's been bald for about 20 years now.
I think so.
I think in DS9 a bit he was as well. I would love, though, just as a pure reference point, because is what we're seeing is looking a bit weird. Is that just because they changed his hairstyle? If they actually matched the facial hair look exactly to every other Trek, I would love to see how he'd look.
Photoshop it.
Okay.
Somebody needs to Photoshop it.
Oh, I can do that right now. As you were saying that, I'm thinking you're going to say do it. I'm going to do it right now, because I think I can do that.
I just assumed you would go ahead and done it.
No,
101 likes. We have hit our 100 like goal, so thank you so much. But now, you know what? I'm feeling greedy for the likes, because we really like it when you guys like what we're doing, when we're interacting with you. So let's go up to 120 now. I want to get another 19 likes, and 144 of you here. That shouldn't be too difficult.
Bold.
Yeah. And as for super chatting your thoughts, feelings about Worf, how he looked in All Good Things compared to now, how the complaint. I love that Samuel thought of that. That's amazing. Wow. You just think of that on the spot, or have you been mulling that?
No,
over?
you just triggered that thought in my brain. Yeah.
You're absolutely.
Because you said about the chat rooms. It's just yeah. It's tricky with fandom, because obviously it evolves, but it also just changes in a way, it goes this way.
But plus, I think that draws a lot of lines in the sand, too. Because how many times have I heard now, since Discovery, since 2009? I was there and watched the first episode of Star Trek. I'm the biggest Star Trek fan that there's ever been, and I don't like this new stuff. It's like, well, It doesn't make you a better Star Trek fan just because you were there since day one.
Yeah.
It just makes you old and crotchety and set in your ways. So get over yourself. It's an argument we hear far too often. You still hear it today. I'm an old Star Trek fan from back in the day, and I don't like this new stuff. This newfangled new stuff. It's like, well, then you're not much of a Star Trek fan because IDIC, my friend, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. So anyway, the core message and principle of Star Trek is lost on you apparently, but that's all right.
This is why I always I can complain about stuff from a filmic point of view because it's hard to argue because it's like, well, that was out of focus. You can't argue with that, etc.
Yeah.
This is so interesting, by the way.
Listen, Jericho says, all of my chats are super. It's true. All of your chats, everybody in the chats are super.
You being here is super.
Yeah. And Jill, I know not all of you are like that. I know that, a lot of us have been around since... I haven't been around since the beginning.
My dad was.
Exactly. And a lot of them are still open to the new stuff. They love it. They just love the Trek is back on the air. But yeah, a lot of people are like that, unfortunately.
Well, and there's a difference between, those people have got a better perspective because they have the full perspective. But when they say it's not worth watching and it's better, that's when you're throwing another thing in the sand, right?
Yeah.
Don't throw as an absolute. Okay, this is my relatively quick Photoshop of a Worf Picard with a more connected look, which ironically is disconnected. Let us know what you guys think.
Yes, IDIC, but with visual continuity. Exactly.
That's the thing. That is the thing.
And we like a lot of the new looks of things. We just don't think they should be considered called prime.
And yes, Stanley's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... First of all, it's a pretty good quick Photoshop.
Thanks. It's weird, isn't it?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Ooh. Go through. Say it. Why? I
have both side by side on my computers.
So. Oh yeah, that's good.
And I don't know what's growing on me now. I don't know. I just got used to looking at that one through this whole live, and then that showed up, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the other two beside it, and I'm like, that actually kind of works.
Yeah.
If they had gone with that, I think people would have been less complaining. That's my thought. You guys let us know in the chat what you think, but
it's weird though, isn't it? Because obviously I did quite a lot of space between the lips, but there's a lot if you look at All Good Things. Jesus, that's like right there. Well, I wonder if he did TNG season 1 Worf that day and so put it in the same spot. Probably not identical, but I don't know. Weirdly, it looks more like Michael Dorn to me. That little bit of lip. Honestly, it's a ridiculous thing to say, but yeah. Yeah, that's very strange. What do you guys think?
Oh, Jill, love you. I saw the Man Trap first run as a kid, and I'm crazy about Prodigy. LOL. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Prodigy's great. Prodigy's great Star Trek. Mm-hmm. But Jill, I deliberately didn't say when you said you were not all like that. I wasn't going to say, well, I didn't want to date you.
Because you're married.
Carbon date you.
Oh.
As far as the age thing, but I guess you called yourself out there.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Good tea. Nice house. Puts in a $5 super chat. Worf still looks good. I guess the old saying is true. Klingon, don't cry.
That is what they always say. And Chuck says lip service, Samuel. It's pretty good.
Give me a lip, boy. Oh my goodness. Not a fan of disco at all, says Vlad One. Well, there's lots of things I like about disco, and I understand why people don't like it. I really do, but I also understand why some people like it.
Is it fair to say in general though your 51% dislike for Discovery as a whole? 51% and up.
51%.
All overall, so all 4 seasons.
That's hard to say because honestly, even like when it's on, I'm excited to watch a new episode of it, hoping that it'll be really good. So 51, yeah, 50. I'd say 50-50, not 51.
Yeah, it's tricky with so many bad seasons, but I think I'm over 51% dislike. But then we subdivide stuff, you know.
Yeah, the thing is, we see ways that we could have made it better.
Oh, that's.
And when I'm watching it, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, I really like this aspect of it. If only this would be cultivated a bit more. And it's like, ugh. So.
Well, it's like they made this soup, and they left really good ingredients on the shelf that were there on set.
Yeah.
Like your bridge crew. Let's ignore them entirely.
Bridge crew. They can't be important.
Let's not make them characters. Who would go? See, and then you put him back with a moustache and he looks interesting. Oh, it's so strange. I like both. Both are good. That's why I say I'd love to have seen him do one version without. And we might see a flashback. That might be part of the narrative, is that everyone gets a flashback in between, which would be quite cool, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Sergeant Montgomery says Worf is going to seduce Raffi. He likes the human women. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. They would make a pretty good, pair of those two. She's strong-willed.
Oh yeah.
Just saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure he hasn't dated anybody since Jadzia. So I could see him and Raffi actually forming some kind of relationship. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
That's super interesting, actually. But then again, they're fun as a platonic dynamic duo. If you had romance into it, it would remove. I think Raffi. Well, Raffi's clearly toxic as a person in general. So I guess even marrying him should be quite screw you off. So yeah, maybe not, but.
It could make for a good comedy. I can just hear the opening now. Worf and Raffi. Raffaella, you crazy bitch.
And of course the tremendous little comment that Terry said in his live stream he did recently with the negative fandom. He said, I basically rebooted Raffi because I really had to.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say more. I just wanted her to say more dialogue on her mission, again and again and again. Stop reiterating your mission. This guy put you on the mission. Stop telling him your mission.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my mission. Bitch, I know. I'm the one that gave it to you.
Yeah, it just.
Yeah, you're right because they do rehash that quite a few times. Just because
it was twice an episode.
Yeah, they think the audience is stupid. Like, remember? Hold on, we gotta remind you. Hello, that's what was happening.
Because she's doing fine this season. She's just not given much good stuff. But as a duo, they're working great because she's now saying new things. But I think now they're going to be better, obviously, because she won't be doing her drug arc. She won't be doing. Hopefully, on Metalis, she'll be doing fresh stuff. She's good at problem solving. She's good at analyzing. She's good at being informative. Those are good things she can do, no question.
Here's the thing. Do you think that her and Seven are still together?
Oh, no. They already said that.
Well, she said it as part of her undercover thing.
This is true.
She's back on drugs. Her life fell apart.
This is very true.
We don't have any confirmation from Seven that they're not together. Are they together in your mind? I think they probably did split, honestly, but on good terms. But that's my thought. And I want to get everybody else's vibe on that.
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like Seven is also in a weird place. I don't know if she would be able to deal with a relationship.
She doesn't know who she is right now. Because she's Commander Hansen, having to listen to shithead like Shaw, apparently. Because she had that whole spiel in the first episode about Shaw and not being able to trust her own instincts. So yeah, she doesn't know who she is. So yeah, she could be very difficult to be with. So I'd understand if they're not together.
Because if it's the same year as season 3 and they had their adventure in the past, Seven got this whirlwind promotion, Raffi got his whirlwind mission that was hard deep cover, obviously can't communicate in that time. So either way they go on a break, right? And do you think that would Raffi use sex as a tool to complete a mission? Yes.
I would say yes. My first reaction is yes.
I mean, a good agent does, honestly. If you're doing that
she's
sort
willing.
of thing.
She's willing to do whatever it takes to get the mission accomplished, including sacrificing her
son.
family and her son. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So yes would be my guess. She will do whatever it takes to get that mission done.
And Stephen says, Sam, you calling them a negative fandom somewhat contradicts Star Trek being accepting of all.
I think the negative fandom he was talking about was the fandom menace, who are very opposed to the show. Anything new Trek.
You can accept something but still call it negative. Accepting does not mean... I mean, we accept there are murderers in the world. They're negative people. What do you mean? That doesn't make sense. That's two different things, right? It's like you can hate a law and still follow it. It can be bad law and you can still follow it. It doesn't... That's two different things.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised that Seven didn't want to be known as Hanukkah, given a sign that she finally is free of old Borg on her.
We thought that too.
Yeah, we kind of thought that same thing.
It seems like the opposite of what would happen. But hey, I mean, I think from the trailer teaser clip that she'll be heavy in this week, which I'm all fine with, and we'll get that Starfleet v Starfleet action, which I'm fine for it to be early on. I'm okay with that, and if it's going to be... Well, that does explain... Changeling explains why... Oh, we should go back and watch episodes, see if one of us did Changeling in the V episode we did debating, because it was clear that a guy was shooting Starfleet and Seven was firing in a corridor. Oh, that's what's going to happen. The Changeling is going to make them think it's Seven who's the Changeling. That's why there'll be a twist halfway through. It's Seven of... Oh, it's Commander Hansen. Get her! And then she has to shoot everyone else.
Right.
Which is good. That works. And that would give the actress more to do if she suddenly walks on the bridge as Seven, as Changeling, shoots out the bridge, and makes her public enemy number one, and then... Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about Changeling. You can really screw up people's days. That's okay, Stephen. I have... Jill, what are you eating for dinner? Let us know before you go.
Thanks for joining us, Jill.
I made some chicken burgers with fried onion and fried egg. Not the normal combination necessarily, but it was nice, and lettuce of course, and bacon, because of course I thought it was
nice.
Wanted to be full up.
Sergeant Montgomery, Mako, it's in $2. Time Travel Section 31 show. Worf, Raffi, and Giorgio.
Ooh. Well, now you're saying something.
I'd be down. As long as there's time travel involved and we can see different eras of Trek, I'm on board. As long as it's done right. Sorry, I should caveat that.
And that's interesting because, let's be fair, that would cover the non-white male quota. But if you make... Because I think Worf and Giorgio are actually quite a good pair. Because Worf is quite aggressive a lot of the time. Giorgio is an evil monster who's less evil now. I mean, Worf will murder a guy if he has to. And then Raffi is a wild card who'll do what she needs to do. That's actually an interesting three. And skill set wise, ex-Emperor of the Universe, ex-top tier warrior, ex-specialist who's good at cracking problems. I could be sold on that, actually. Maybe not for like a not 10 season arc, but... Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually. Although I wouldn't do Section 31, because I think that hurts Worf's character, I would have said. I think he wouldn't want to be associated with them, personally.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And Thomas Bartholdi says, I heard Geordi had 2 daughters. Yes, one is on the Titan. One, I think, is working with him at the museum. Which you will see. They're actually together in a scene.
Yep,
so.
And the real daughter is, as in the actual physical actor's daughter, is at the museum, and this is just lady actor who's on Titan.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought the one on the Titan was his daughter.
Well, Mika's not actually a professional actress. She's sometimes an actress in some things, but obviously this one's in it more.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see all three together, because I mean you want that family vibe, and both great. I mean, I like Mika a lot, so it's a good. That's a good thing.
Sounds like Star Trek 3's company. Yeah, pretty much.
Dan, yeah. But yeah, back to All Good Things. So people forget he's very similar. Do you think he's more stylish though? In the current one, All Good Things. If you had to vote on one as like that should be the look.
Let me see.
His outfit's pretty kick-ass in All Good Things. It's this brown, more rustic.
Yeah.
All the same details though, but in different fabrics.
That's his business attire. You know that he's wearing his casual shit right now, and
yeah.
Just saying. I actually really like the look of From All Good Things. Honestly.
Yeah, I'd want to see it with hair pulled back. It's hard to judge fully.
Yeah.
But I think both are good. And in fact, someone just released, and I'm glad I would have noticed these, the original approval sketch concept piece for his outfit. So I'm able to show that right now. This is the actual Worf concept costume, which would just put uniforms and costumes. Here is the full thing. I love the Photoshop Worf face. That's pretty classy. Costume designer Michael Crow, concept artist Amaro Studio. And there you go.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but the new sword on his back looks like the Mandalorian's.
It does.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh dear.
This is like a video game character from like a God of War game or something.
I mean, everything looks like everything. That's.
Yep.
I mean, the further we get into things,
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. But
have you seen that yet?
No, we were going to, but then
you need to watch it. I want to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, the trailer looked weird but good.
That's a good way to explain the movie.
Yeah, I didn't know if there's enough story in it to be good, versus just the gimmick of the concept. Is what I got from the trailer, but I mean they can't give it all away, so.
Yeah.
But she won
a giant award for it. About it. I have things to say about it, but I want to see it. Sean O'Sullivan, member for 4 months at the rank of ensign. Zimmerman, Sela, Captain Kim, Foley likes Hadfield, and plus Quebec. I kind of don't like either of those things, but okay.
Okay.
Jordan S., member for 19 months at the rank of commander.
Thank you.
What are your hypothesis on the nebula? Some bio readings and the weird bright flashes. Terrorist Changeling Homeworld Nebula or something more protagonist?
And that keeps coming up as well as a theory. I wonder why.
Because they needed somewhere to go after the Great Link. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have much of a thought on that. I want to be surprised about that. The first thing I thought of was Nagilum. When they said like biosignatures and stuff, bio readings. But it's interesting that she said it's like nothing they've ever seen before. And Picard's like, so we shouldn't go through it. She's like, no, I recommend not.
Although
a lot of people have drawn similarities between the immunity syndrome as well, the big giant.
Ooh, that's a deep cut.
And I'm like, I don't think it's that either.
But the question is it actually like nothing we've seen before, or like when Dade said that hole in space, nothing like we've seen before? Cut to the thing we saw before.
All the things we've seen before.
Yeah. So there's a bit of that as well, maybe.
Major Grin will have a video of this.
Exactly. Narratively, I just don't see a writer writing. We would all, I feel like, or I would certainly complain if Beverly happened to find the secret Changeling homeworld nebula without trying, with no reason. That's super contrived as a destination for me. Now, maybe like a portal, which the strike is using, but even that I think is too far. So I think that's too much. Just coinky dink. And Beverly has led no hints that she went there on purpose, as in beyond the hiding factor. I mean, is alien in a nebula like a giant whale? Is that too normal? Is that interesting enough? Should it not all be sort of connected in an interesting way? Or is that just the pure sci-fi of it? You know, or is that then too close to Discovery season 4 with the gas giant and the creatures that were in it, species 10C? Like we just did that. Are we going to do another space whales in a gas cloud?
No, please no.
And that's really what I think of when I see it. I think, oh, it's going to be a giant alien creature, but that doesn't feel quite right. We haven't had any clues, really, right? Organic, nebula, weird. There's not enough to go on.
Yeah. And you're 100% right. We've said this before. Because Beverly was using it to hide, theoretically, from these things that kept chasing them, which they didn't know. They didn't know about Vatic. They didn't know about anything. They just know that they can't trust anybody, and they're trying to hide. We get the captain's log from Best of Both Worlds about hiding in a nebula, how the Borg can't detect them.
Yeah.
So it's like it makes sense that she would try to seek that out to hide based on that information. But yeah, if it's something like this is where the changelings are living now, it is way too fucking coincidental to be like. I think 90% of the things they could do with this is going to be way coincidental that they're there right then.
Yes.
It didn't form around them. It didn't zoom up on them. They went to it, which, yeah.
That said,
okay.
You said Beverly's trying to hide. So clearly it works. Someone's trying to hide there. There is that logical.
So who's trying to hide there?
Well,
who's the gravity well in the middle of it that's sending out biosignatures? That's interesting.
Because I get why, yeah, it's a ball of changelings and they're whatever. That just doesn't feel right. But then a ship sending out biosigns that's glowing white seems odd. Don't know why you would do that. Kind of gravity. Maybe it was a Dyson moon. Maybe it's something because that would feel very TNG-esque, like a micro Dyson sphere that has something in it that's powering it or whatever.
A few people have suggested the crystalline entities from kind of Farpoint. This could be some kind of nursery or whatever for them, and that explains a lore connection. But I'm like, that's stretching it quite a bit. That's just a way to tie in lore. It would be interesting, but and it would bring. See, that's the other thing. It would bring TNG very full circle, which would have been cool if they used the conspiracy bugs to kind of wrap that up as like part of the TNG's cast final outing. But I don't know. I think that's a stretch.
And also, can I just point out, guys, we didn't get screeners. If we did, this wouldn't work.
Exactly. Yeah.
We would know, and it would be hard to not answer these questions. Christianity is very interesting, actually. That would certainly be a coincidence that I'd be okay with. The formation of these life forms, the natural pressures of a gravitational phenomenon is like I said, the breeding ground. That's interesting. We just see them in lower decks, a whole batch of them, so they're still out there. We know there's more than one, but Terry doesn't do the cartoon so much, so but that is there.
Oh, sorry, I got confused. I said the things from the
Farpoint.
Farpoint, where as I meant the crystalline entity.
Yes.
Which he worked with to destroy the colony.
Yes. That's okay. I know what you meant.
And the gravitational well would work very well with the crystalline entity because it's crystalline entity.
No, I think that's actually relatively solid. Especially if there's, like I say, more than one or one and it's hurt and it's flashing power. Did the original entity flash? Because now you've said that.
Original crystalline entity? Yes. Yeah, it did.
I know it shimmered, but that's really. And then you could have it be that Picard and Beverly, we know how to communicate with this thing. This. They talk to it. Maybe it helps them defeat the Shrike. That's interesting. Yeah. And then maybe Law's brought. I don't quite want to be a villain or anything. This entity, but that's pretty good. Yeah.
Mike Shapiro throws in $5
Thanks,
and
Mike.
says, "Could his profits be in there?" Which ties in with Sergeant Montgomery's. It says it could be a wormhole within the nebula for the Pa Wraiths. The nebula looks very Pa Wraithy in color and pattern. This could be the DS9 tie-in that Terry's kind of hinted at.
Oh.
And a lot of people have speculated, well, not a lot of people, a few people have speculated that the light at the middle could in fact be a wormhole alien, maybe Cisco. And he knows that his biggest enemy, the Dominion, are back, and he's there to help. And he takes the Titan directly from falling into the gravitational well, come out right at Deep Space Nine, right out of the Celestial Temple, and get repairs done. That'd be a great way to tie in DS9.
Literally.
And you could have Cisco maybe just in voice only. I would love to see that. I don't think we're going to, though.
Well, that's a great side thought. Gravitational anomaly, I thought instantly a dense bit of matter that's causing a sun or a star or something in the middle. But a wormhole is a gravitational anomaly, yes.
Yeah.
I know we said that in another live. It would also justify spending more time here. Because then here gets us to there. With an organic flow. And the idea that, yeah, it's maybe. Ooh. A little bit of a coincidence, but not a huge one, like a little bit of one. If the Shrike is also in this area, maybe it was already in this area anyway before it knew where the ship was. What if there is actually a wormhole, like you say, in the middle, and the nebula was formed around it by the Shrike and the Dominion, or the ex-Dominion, because it's still a wormhole to somewhere important. So it's had chicken and egg, it's the reverse. Because I could see them being able to form the nebula, like it was just a dangerous cloud. And
maybe it's the first part of an attack strategy. They formed this to actually come out at Deep Space Nine in the same area to attack.
Or, triple down. What if it's the same wormhole to the Gamma Quadrant? They made a new one, or they found a new one, and they once they go through, they then have to find the actual wormhole, and then they meet DS9. So same thing, just going the other round.
I would love that. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be very cool, actually. And that would be obviously a surprise, and because then it doubles down the idea of, we now know the changelings are a problem. We know they've got a direct link to the Gamma Quadrant, which we can't protect because the nebula caused, they didn't know about it. And once you can get sneaky, because how did these ex-changelings get into our quadrant except on ships through our wormhole? Unless they found a new one.
Finding a new wormhole is a great idea, for sure.
And I could see the changelings better build a nebula. I don't think that's a huge thing. I think that feels like a natural. That's really strong. Yeah.
Rude Chef 1 says, "Oh my God, Ducat comes back all red eye." But better for a different series. And then Sergeant Montgomery says, "Rude Chef agreed." Well, Sergeant Montgomery, I'm going to tell you, don't listen to anything Rude Chef says. Rude Chef is a good friend of mine who lives in London here and comes over to bug me on a not regular basis. So just ignore everything he has to say.
Right. Okay. Yes, Bill hears.
Just kidding.
But no, I think that's really strong, Stu, actually.
I would love if somehow this nebula ties into DS9. Boom. There you go. There's multiple ways they could do it. A lot of storytelling potential there. I do like the idea of the wormhole.
And maybe quadrupling down what someone said. What if it is everything I just said, but a par wraith is the thing that's actually fueling the wormhole, keeping it stable, and that's what's giving off the energy signatures. Because par wraiths hate our quadrant, the Dominion would know that, work with them potentially, and the par wraith energy is keeping a wormhole stable. That links it together.
Yeah.
And it explains the energy readings. It's just a byproduct of the melding, the blending.
The Dominion, the changelings working with the Power Rays to destroy Bajor, and oh my God.
That's logical.
It is, 100%.
They fucked over everyone at the end of DS9. That would make sense. And even if just one Power Wraith came in and did the thing, that's pretty sensible.
Yeah, and Sergeant Montgomery points out that's why Picard had the Bajoran artifacts in his office. Yeah, those are pretty big.
Well,
in the center of the frame. Look at this. It's important. Never talked about again. Yeah.
As we know, it was just set decoration. Oops. Oh, the Dave Collins show is here. And he's thinking, wow, he just had everything right.
Hey, Dave Cullen. How's it going?
See, that's if we had Dave on right now, he can answer all the questions.
He's sitting there going, I know everything.
Or slyly say, no, you guys are wrong. Or he doesn't show his face, so we couldn't see his smirk to the right. But
he's got the coffee mug.
Always. I mean,
how is this even a thing?
Yes. How are you today, Dave?
Wow. While we're here at this break in the discussion, 133 likes, which is fantastic. But can we get to 150? 150 is a much better number. And I'd like another 13 likes if possible. So if you haven't hit that like button, Dave Cullen, hit that like button right now and show your support for our channel. We support your channel, kind of. I hit like on your videos. Yes, all 100% complete.
Okay. And he says, I'm good, loving your work first. Yeah, who else does uniform breakdowns? No one. There's a reason for that, but we like doing it. All those up lighting it.
I'm actually quite shocked that somebody like you watches our content, but I appreciate it. I've been watching you for a long time, so don't always agree with you, but this is the.
I love your voice.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Samuel's got a thing for your voice. Tells me about it often.
See, that is like with not Mr. Lorca, the actor Lorca. It's a different sort of bus that you throw me under.
Yes.
That one had justification. This
Jason
is out of the blue.
Isaacs, is that his name?
Yes. The bus throwing Stuart.
I love throwing Samuel under buses. And you're one of those buses, Dave Cullen.
Dear me.
We need a Trekyards mention in a Dave Cullen video. That's all I'm going to say. Do it. Make it happen.
Or Dave could come on our show and say hello. If you're ever free, quote unquote. And like I say, I'll just be grinning with our predictions. It's funny when we get the right stuff. My favourite, though, was Lower Decks. I guessed the season 1 end of combat joke. I guessed it. I was so thrilled.
We've guessed a lot of shit over the years, but also
we have
come up with a lot of good stuff that was better than what they came up with. So,
but as we know, a lot of it is lack of time, lack of money, lack of too much coronavirus stuff, or etc. etc.
Lack of people that know anything about Star Trek and they should really hire us instead. Yeah, I know, but here we are. Yeah, it's tricky. And yes, Dave, I agree.
Yeah.
Born collective indeed.
Yeah. And we wouldn't be doing these things like we are all who do the YouTube space are passionate in a way that involves actual effort. Hence the amount of time. I mean, God, if the fact that you and me, Stuart, we know every single Thursday. Doesn't matter what's going on, we are booked. And every Friday, doesn't matter what's going on, we are booked. That's the level of dedication. But yes, Dave, you should come on at some point. Talk about things and bobs. That would be fun. Let us know if you're yes to booked. And how best to contact you to book said booking.
Too much talk of book. I think we're talking about Discovery now.
He's good though. Bring him back. He can come back. People travel in the timelines. Bring Cleveland Booker. Or it could be Cleveland Booker's great grandson. Nope.
As long as the goddamn cat doesn't come back. What's the cat's grudge? Yes. She's a queen. Yep.
Look, do you have a grudge right now?
Against grudge? I've had a grudge since the beginning. Yes. For sure. I'd be happy to pop on. There you go.
How best to contact you then, Dave?
You can email us at trekyards@hotmail.com if you want to contact us that way, then we can get in touch.
You could. Or I could follow you on Twitter if I'm not already, and you could follow me on Twitter and I can message you on Twitter. That would be a good way as well. If there is such a thing as being able to do that.
But, guys, we need another 8 likes to get to 150. I think we're coming to the end-ish of the conversation. So,
then it's general predictions. It's what do we think is going to happen next week? Because that's a big, broad thing. We've had good sub-discussions. But, are we going to get out of the nebula, Stuart? That's the question.
Yes. I'm calling yes. We're going to get out of the nebula in the next episode.
Are we going to see Geordi?
Because I can't stand... He says helium LS. Will we see Geordi? No. We will not see Geordi yet. We'll see Geordi in episode 5 or possibly 6.
Are we... I'll swap to what I'd like to see. I definitely want to see Worf and Raffi head to Daystrom, because if they skip straight to Daystrom, boy, we can move forward. Imagine if Law's at Daystrom casually working, and Worf's reaction would be like, "What are you doing here?" That would be a hell of a scene. Maybe Worf pisses Law off so much that he goes rogue in later episode with Geordi. That would be an unusual twist. Yeah, Dave. I think he's gonna be an MVP. We've said that he's the guy I want to give a new season to if I was to pick, just because.
Yeah, we talked about that for one time. Spin-off show Star Trek before.
It says something about a man. That's just we were both at a convention and he lost his voice, and yet we interacted with him in a flawless way without being able to shake his hand. He doesn't do that. Our talk, I still felt really connected to the man in our 1 minute.
Well,
he was genuinely engaged. That is a hell of an achievement for him.
And I had 2 encounters with him previous that kind of soured me on him a bit. But that one more than made up for it. He was very welcoming and very nice. So,
but just the energy was really, really there. In a way that you wouldn't necessarily need to be. I mean, the conventions are really difficult. I mean, you've now lived on the other side of the fence as well of actually doing a booth, and it is tiring.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, the irony being, you're at a giant convention. If you've got a booth, what do you see, Stuart? What's in front of your booth?
Yeah.
Because that's what you see.
And plus, if you're like me and you're not a people person, kind of an introvert. I mean, I'm an extroverted introvert. I found it. So I can people for a while, but to have it on all day is a little much sometimes. So
yeah.
The doctor though throws in $5.
Doctor.
It says, if they are in a holodeck, I'm going to groan, but Moriarty is in it, so who the hell knows?
And Dave, saw your email. Phenomenal. That was quick. I'll email after this. I mean, clearly they're going to go to a holodeck with Sun Man. But that's just reusing set. Yay for reusing sets, but...
Oh, yeah. Who the hell's Sun Man? Oh, Jack. Gotcha. Sun Man.
Sun Man is here in the nebula.
It's his sidekick, Moon Man.
But not the moon you think.
Planet Man.
No, not the moon you think. He's a different sort of moon. He does.
Ensign Ricky throws in $5. Many people who have seen all 10 episodes, even the naysayers, are saying that episode 4 is one of the best episodes of the 10. Can't wait.
See, don't say that though, because now you create an expectation of quality that we have no context for. So if it's only great, and you say it's amazing, then it's not going to live up to the expectations, right? That's always tricky. I'm
looking forward to episode 6 myself.
9. What episode 9?
I don't.
I just said it with but I think what's nice about this episode is that we actually have, I think, and I said last week, I think we finally have the chessboard set.
Yes.
Which is important, because we did have to spend a good... Matt, thanks. All he'll hate it. Yeah, last week we had the entire subplot was changelings, and that was a decent amount of time set up. So now we've got that set up, we can really go into overdrive. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
I know that Terry said that, and he was also surprised, as I was surprised, that fans were complaining that there was Riker-Picard friction. We didn't complain, we noted it must work in the grander story, right? It's not so much that it's there, it's how it works in the grander way.
We've already gave our theories on that, so...
Exactly. Oh yeah, Dave's already ahead. We did joke about that, Dave, that we could then do all the reviews early and just release them and just step away.
Which we would have done, but then these lives with predictions and stuff wouldn't have been as fun.
Well, in fairness, if we did every single review in, like, January, just didn't touch it, and then well, I forgot what I said 4 weeks ago when I reviewed the episode. I have not seen it since, so you can probably do that, words.
He was saying something and you forgot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Riker Picard stuff.
Yes.
I think they'll. I mean, the images suggested. I think they'll reconnect quickly because Riker, I think, will be maybe even Seven will push him to deal with his feelings, because Seven obviously lost her mum and dad, lost her Icheb, whatever relationship he was to her, and other things. So perhaps she will now talk to Riker in a certain way. I know you felt loss. Believe me. All my entire adult life, I had loss. The loss of my entire adult life. Maybe.
Well, she lost her parents, then she lost the whole collective.
And and true, yeah.
Because that would have been quite an adjustment.
So I think because Picard, I feel like is need to be Jack and Beverly's storyline. That's the thing that we're gonna get. So I feel like Beverly, I think a Seven could grab him out of that and make them make up, because Seven's obviously friends with Picard now, but Riker's in the command situation for the ship, so it makes sense for her to be in his storyline versus Picard's, but be on the side of Picard structurally. The writer in me is thinking that.
Yeah.
Is Vadik going to be in it much? That I just saw the Vadik comment. Is because
what in this
yeah, we're doing predictions. Yeah, how much Vadik do you think?
Not much. I'm gonna guess like 30%. Probably at the end. I think it's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of dealing with shit on the ship, and then all of a sudden, when that gets sorted, Vadic's going to make a reappearance.
Maybe through a portal. We've now added those as a thing.
Ensign Ricky throws in $5. Dayman, fighter of the Nightman, champion of the sun, master of karate and friendship for everyone.
Yes. Wow. I just remember what that was, yeah. I feel like, though, now we know the Changeling subplot, they would want to show Vadik in a Changeling way. Not necessarily her, but her crew. Like, there should be something on the ship, maybe... Because the big question, why did they change course and not just get Jack? They didn't do that on purpose. They had the option. They could have continued the fight. They could have tracked him down. They're leaving them to die, in essence. So... it'd be nice maybe if a female Changeling walks in, or Vadik shifts and talks to them, or maybe they can't go further in the nebula because it hurts their Changeling biology. But that needs to be addressed, I feel like, in a very distinct way. Because it was quite random.
I would agree.
I mean, do you want Vadik to be a Changeling if that is the reveal?
I don't want her to be a Changeling.
Is that a big
that'd
no?
Be much more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey.
Because we also went on this big tirade earlier. What if she's an Alpha Quadrant Changeling, new variant, as it were, but she's gone a bit crazy? Yeah. Oh, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe there's an S. We don't know. He does, but we don't.
I mean, does he? I don't know.
He's hinted that there is, so there you go.
But also,
Denise Crosby has said that she's involved. Yes.
I think she's in it. Lies. Do you remember how Harrison Ford said he'll never do Star Wars again? Twice. Oh. He was in 2 of them. Yeah. But I'll end the poll though, and closer than I thought. Which effect do you prefer for the Changelings? The winner by a slight but meaningful majority: 60% the DS9 glow effect, 40% the 2023 effect. Very clever. Yeah, I think it's got to be they hurt their biology. That's got to be I would assume their shields don't work the further down they go. But then why don't you try to beam the ship as soon as it got damaged?
Don't know. All right. While you think about that,
I know.
Ozzy throws in $2. Says, "Long live the Queen" for some reason. Don't you guys have like a king now and junk?
Yep. Got a king.
He hasn't had a coronation yet or anything.
It's real soon. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think my mum saw the original coronation. Yeah, just. Yeah, I get to see one. Now you are going to watch that surely, at least some of it, I would assume.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, cool.
Sergeant well, I've been watching The Crown too, so. Anyway, Sergeant Montgomery, Mako, $5. Viridian 3 was not uninhabited, and young Vadik found Moriarty's holomatrix in some debris. Corrupted her to create Dominion Federation proxy war.
Jesus.
All right, then. But he wasn't on board the Enterprise. He wasn't still in the thing. They took him to... Didn't they send him somewhere? They say they were going to take him to Daystrom or something?
Well, they said they were going to. Doesn't mean they got around to it. But then
they got put in a closet and forgotten
about it. I think that was what happened the mid-season. But yeah, I would think he'd be sent off. I mean, if you want to go mega deep lore, you could always have a be from another lady that came out of the Nexus after Viridian. She hated Sora and she's like, F this guy, I'll come out the Nexus and do some carnage. I mean...
And Dave Cullen's like, I wish they'd actually done some of these ideas instead. But I mean, with these speculation videos we do, Dave, we come up with some really fantastic theories and great storylines. Like, it's a good brainstorming session. So.
Yes. Because I write a lot of Star Trek in films. Yeah. And I've been writing for a very long time. And you have very odd, interesting, suddenly deep ideas that just go into huge tangents.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to think in the fan way. Like, these aren't... Let's bring back Shishko. Like, they've got to make sense in a logical way.
And our collective of Trekyardians here really helps us with the discussion and thoughts. So, yeah. Ensign Ricky throws in $2 and says, I wish Worf would have just said Odo instead, to be honest. Yeah, I do too. A man of great honor. So just say the goddamn name.
I said that too at the time. I think it's more honourable if he doesn't. There's a certain poetry to that respects him versus just his name. I don't know why.
It's kind of samurai code-ish, yeah.
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 Structurally, it just made a bit more sense. He might mention more explicitly next time. Like, you could still do that. I think that one way they said that was absolutely fine. But yeah, I hope Worf goes to Daystrom next week. I think that would be really important. We get introduced to the scientists there, which will lead into later in the season. That would be important. Portal weapon, important or not? Thing is it too obvious that it's just Lore is the weapon? Because that would be a double reveal if it's not. Because showing Lore, and Lore is always going to be in the marketing material. If we all think it's Lore, because it's obviously Lore, and it's not Lore, they've not fooled us, it's just we've led ourselves to believe something. So if Lore is actually a friend at Daystrom, and because if he comes next week, right, as a friend, and Worf and Raffi work with him, which would be crazy by itself, then the audience is going to go for a fourth time in a row, huge twist. Wait, what? He's a friend? The hell's the weapon then? Another giant twist, right?
Well, it explained too when we heard Geordi say "Lore" or whatever, the way he says it, either in anger or surprise, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it would be quite interesting if he comes aboard with Worf and Raffi. Yeah. I like that.
Because that's really nice a twist, conceptually. Especially as Worf and I think Worf, Raffi, and Lore would have a very nice chemistry because they're all kind of shitheads.
Yeah.
And then if it's then revealed in that as we'd said early on, that Data and Lore share headspace in his brain, and then you have scenes with Data and Geordi and Lore and Worf, and you get to have play both sides, would be again structurally quite well.
Yeah. And Dan, that's why I'm excited for episode 6. That's all I'll say. Good Tea, Nice House, $2. Samuel, have you ever tried submitting a script?
Well, they don't retake scripts. So, and I think they did for Discovery once, but then do I really want a script in Discovery? Not really. Plus, they own everything you do. If you submit anything, they own it. Doesn't matter if they use it or not, they own it. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Dave Cullen says more of a frustration, like when your Joe jumps on the bed.
Oh.
For Geordi's reaction to War. That's great.
Yeah. Well, is he at Daystrom? Is it the museum? You know, I mean, he'd be a hell of a tour guide. He can remember the entire thing, etc. I just really don't want to pause and not go to Daystrom straight away. I don't want that. I want that. He wants to be as you'd said, and Dave, this is Stuart's giant theory, which I thought was kind of genius. That actually the two timelines are different. That Raffi and Worf are in the past, like not, but I mean just earlier in the events.
Month or two, yeah.
And they're dealing with events, and that leads them to join the situation later. And that's what we're seeing now is differently timed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you still write expanded universe novels and make money as an author? I don't know.
I mean, you can try and get a license. They're quite closed-minded when it comes to authors. That's why you keep seeing the same 5 names again and again. James Swallow and etc. as the main people, because the the reins of the who can do what is quite careful. You can always write your own side material and just publish it online, but then you can't obviously do any money from it in any way. Oh, Dave, boo, boo, boo. Yeah. Well, I mean, every episode has had distinct surprise. That has been obviously a thing.
Yeah. The funny thing is too, like we know a few things that are coming up.
Yeah.
And we just don't know when. So it's like.
I mean, the irony is we've both been told ship stuff, as of course would make sense. We know a ton of ship stuff coming.
over the course of like a year, we've kind of known some stuff, but.
And I've certainly been offered spoilers. I'm like, I'll hear the ship stuff. I'll see the ship stuff. Just don't tell me how it works, how it fits. And I want to know that stuff.
Yeah, we like the speculating and we like the surprise. So.
Yes.
Well.
Tomorrow. I mean.
What's tonight for me?
Yes.
If I stay up. Like 3 a.m.
Yes.
for me. I don't know. Then I gotta get up early to film with you, so it's like
yes, you do, and I've got to get early to prep for filming with you. So hopefully, there's new stuff to talk about. Hopefully, there's more ships or tech, because that's what we rely on here. So, hopefully, more Shrike. I'm hoping for more. I want to see interior scenes. I want to see them debating. I want to see maybe a shape-shifting scene. Would be great there.
All the things.
Yeah. Like I said, chessboard set. Let's see how they play the next move. Because then it'll be 40% through. And once we hit 50%, it'll feel like the season's almost over. Because then we're counting down the episodes versus we've got most of the season to go. Right?
Yeah.
The fresh vibe is now on the precipice. Then it'll be half over. Then it'll be almost over. Then it'll be done. Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go with there-ish.
I mean, another $9 of course would round us up. But either way, you want 8 likes, I guess, or 3 if we're being very... I'll
go with 8.
8 likes! Oh, Dave, and who's even responding to? We don't know, dear me.
No, Rude Chef, I cannot do that. Not going to go there and watch it and then come back here to film right away. No, it's not happening. Gotta get screenshots and stuff.
Oh, we know, Dave. Oh, we know.
Thursday is my work day. Thursday and Friday. Really.
Yeah, I've told everyone in my family, Dave, that episode I'm not doing anything that week. People know.
Yeah, Dave. We're aware.
I've literally cancelled plans I might have planned.
Yeah.
I have to. Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
This has been great, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't, though, before you leave. If you're watching this after the fact, super thanks.
Yes.
You want to come in with the last super chat on the last super chat slot?
Yes.
Right now, Good Tea Nice House has it with $2 and says, Samuel, have you tried submitting a script? If you want something more poignant to be your last super chat, snipe in now with that.
Or
and we will close out in a minute or two here.
Or you can make Stuart sing.
You could try to do that.
Well, I don't think there's a try. I think he would have to sing. I don't know if there's a...
I mean, Dave Cullen could super chat in and have me say that Dave Cullen is...
You can't say it.
Exactly. I was going to say, like, I would have given it away. You're right. Did it for free.
A $5 cheapest sponsorship ever is what you're saying. But yeah, go watch his stuff. It's cool. I like the format.
And Rude Chef, my live tomorrow is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because it's my first reaction. Then we do our full breakdown on Friday at 4 p.m. So.
Yes, and of course, Mandalorian this tonight. Tonight, if you're interested. as well. And do go check out our comparisons we did this week on the new uniform, on the de-aging, and on today's release of the Changelings Are Back. I was quite pleased with our de-aging video because it compared significant detail, the looks of the different ages and the different variations. So that is good. Although it's funny again, Terry, said in his sort of impromptu interview, they said fans would get it, so he told the people, don't put too much effort into it. Just do some and move on. It's like could be just be an excuse, obviously, for it didn't go quite so well, but
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, looks like we're not going to get another super chat, so we'll call it there. Thank you for watching, guys. We will be seeing you. I'll be seeing you tomorrow night, and we'll be seeing you on Friday for the full breakdown and review. So.
And tonight.
Oh yes, and tonight, episode 2 of season 3 of The Mandalorian. I'll have my first reaction tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join me for that if you care about The Mandalorian.
And that is the way, Stuart.
That is the way. But before we say that, Ozzy throws in $2 and says I was talking about the Cat Queen. Okay, thank you, Marco Van Osh, with €2.50. Thanks for the great live, Captain and Commander. That's a better way to end out than talking about Rudge. All right. Oh, goddamn. And Brendan Piercy throws in $10.
Oh!
Been shoveling snow for 2 weeks straight.
Oh, my God.
And I listen to these live streams. Really appreciate you guys for keeping me sane. Hey, that's a great thing to do while shoveling, honestly.
It is.
Where do you live? Because, I've been doing a lot of shoveling myself lately.
I love that your thumbnail even reflects your snowbound life and existence. Yes. As I said to you at the start, Stuart, we actually had snow in the... Oh, it even got deeper. Yeah, it's still snowing in the UK, which it's March. It does not snow in March. And it has settled. That is crazy. It's March. Weird.
Oh, we got Good Tea Nice House with $2.
Oh, my God.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, who have you had snow today? Right now in the chat. Did you have snow today? Yes or no?
I didn't. We had a nice, beautiful, warm day. Sunny. It's supposed to snow on Friday, though, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Like the UK. We had snow, and that was right early in the day.
You're supposed to get to 10 to 15 centimeters on Friday. Oof. So.
I know we've talked about this before, but I love snow. It's such a nice... It's so magical, just the concept of it. But as you've said, as soon as you have it for more than one day, it drains all life out of your existence.
No matter if I'm inside by a fire drinking a hot coffee or a cup of cocoa or something. When I have to go out and shovel the shit, then it becomes a problem.
It's such a blessing in the UK for the first day. Then it just... repercussions, etc.
All right.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, Good Tea Nice House. That was a perfect way to end out.
Yes.
We will see you guys. I'll see you tonight, and you'll see us tomorrow. No. You'll see me tonight, you'll see me tomorrow, and you'll see us on Friday.
For a 3-hour spectacular.
Keep thinking today is Thursday. And yes, it'll be 3 hours. We'll be starting an hour early.
Because we can talk for 3 hours, about 50 minutes of TV.
3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
Until then, he's Captain Foley. Oh.
And Sergeant Roadkill throws in £2. Can confirm snowy archaeology occurred today. Nice.
Well, hope it went well. Until then, he is Captain Foley.
And he is Commander Cockings.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you guys later.